Candy, and then I also have Pastor Jay, who's going to be coming in from the Pastor Jay show today, and she's going to be coming in talking a little bit about Christmas this Saturday and Sunday, and Live Workshop Play Florida. Oh God, now you got me coughing.
I should turn the camera around.
Hello, Florida. This is Joe Mullins, and good morning. And wasn't that a beautiful song? That was incredible. Brian Adams has just killed it with that new song. And if he,
just don't sing, Joe. Just don't sing.
I've waited all of the year.
Oh goodness! Don't do it.
It's a beautiful song.
It's a good thing I can edit that out.
You know,
the singing part.
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't want to.
This is a very special show. We're not going to do anything serious. We're not going to talk about anything political today. We're not going to talk about
no politics.
No politics. We're going to talk about Christmas Day and what it means. You know, I love Christmas, Pastor Jay.
Oh, you know I love Christmas.
You and I were driving up here on the moped, and you were on the back, and you were whispering in my ear.
Okay, let's be very clear. The devil is a liar. I was not on a moped.
Okay. My truck.
Yeah.
My two-wheel truck.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was two-wheel.
I thought it was a scooter.
So we were riding up here, and then Candy got mad. We got in, and she said, "That's it. I'm not giving you your Christmas gifts." And we went, "No, we got to have Christmas cheer."
Mm-hmm.
So one of the big things that I love about Christmas, and we were on the way up here, seriously, was I love to give. I love to give all year round.
We have that in common.
Yeah, we do. We like to give.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, I will give a compliment. I will give an insult. I will give a gift. I will give a whatever as quick as you can because I want to hold on to it.
That is true.
And one of the beautiful things, and Candy, you know, that's one of the great things. Like we go to events together, we do things together, and I have so many people call me and say, "Hey, Joe, can you get me into this and get me into that?" And I love doing it. But I love doing it because I love seeing people's expressions. I don't do it for myself. I do it because I love seeing their expressions. Why do you think you like giving so much?
Well, because I serve a God who has given everything for me. And how can you not model in those footsteps?
That's true. That's what this time of year is
about.
So well, why do you give me a hard time?
I'm giving you something. I'm giving. I have to keep. I tell people all the time I'm your Jiminy Cricket. It's as though I'm your conscience. Mm-hmm. That's our relationship. But just the time of being with family and just showing your loved ones how much you love them and appreciate them, and friends and family how valued they are. And I just love giving, and I want people to feel special. So even those I don't know, I love serving, I love giving to them because I want them to know that they are special and that they are appreciated and that they are loved.
You know, so today's Christmas Day. And kids are going to be waking up and doing that incredible thing. Santa came. And I love Santa. Gosh, I love Santa. I got to see him at the.
I'm sorry. I'm a hardworking Black woman. I have a problem with a jolly old fat white man taking credit for what I work for all year long. So I never did the Santa thing with my kids. Why are you looking at me like that?
We have kids listening.
We have kids listening to this. Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure they don't know that Santa is real or not real. I don't think she's pulling the Band-Aid off on that one.
I'm going to tell y'all both right now. If y'all trying to tell me that Santa's not real, I'm going to come up.
I'm telling you, Santa isn't white.
Need to edit all this out.
I'm telling you, in our house, Santa's not white.
I am not going to be the guy that said anything about Santa on the show. So let's edit all that out and let's start over right at this point and say, you know, giving this time of the year is about giving. And it's also about another important thing. It's about Christ being born. Mm-hmm. And I remember growing up and going to church, and I loved the caroling. We used to go around the houses and carol all the time and sing. And do they even do that today, Candy? I mean, do people go and do it, or do you get,
I've yet to have somebody show up at my door to sing, but at the same time, I don't feel like there's enough talent that would be willing to get together and spend a night doing that.
People still do it.
If I came to your door at 8:30 and beat on the door and started singing to you, what would you do?
I would probably join in. I'd be excited. I've done it. I am.
Probably call 911 and say,
"Hey, I haven't done it in a minute.
There's a deranged white guy on my porch singing."
I used to get my congregation together, and we would find neighborhoods, and we would go through and just sing. So people still do it. Plus, they also go to nursing homes, assisted living facilities. They're doing it there. You know, so I think it's
so many things have changed in our country, and we started, you know, when I will say this, we got up to the point where it's all these fads that come in. All of a sudden, you can't say Christmas, it's holiday. Have a happy holidays. And then we got a president back in the White House a few years ago. I'm just going to say, I'm going to do the top view that said no, we're going to put Christ back in Christmas. And that's really the most important thing. I love giving, and I love the Santa. I love the reindeers. I love the videos, the movies. Right. I love watching those movies, especially with the old Rudolph where he's walking around like animatronic. You know, Candy, you remember that? When
back in the day one?
Yeah, I love it.
Oh no, my favorite Christmas movie, National Lampoon Christmas Vacation.
Oh yeah,
that's mine was Macaulay Culkin's
Home Alone.
Home Alone. Yeah,
really?
I love Home Alone. Yeah, because I always
you kind of look like him.
I do, and I leave my kids
about the same
height. He's a little taller, but you know, we got to a point where we were pulling away and trying to change the meaning of it, and I think we're good to go back to it. But caroling, Christ being born, the manger scene, that is such a beautiful thing of Christmas, and it's such an exciting time. And I just love the giving, the love, the camaraderie, bringing your family together. And I mean, I've suffered some major losses during the holidays. I've lost some loved ones and family members, and you have during these holidays.
This is my first Christmas without my 20-year-old daughter.
Yeah, and it's my, you know, I lost my mom on Black Friday, so it begins the Christmas holiday with a lot of people, and it gets hard. But you know, one of the beautiful things I got to say is I make it through Christmas every year. When I got out of treatment from alcohol addiction, it was the craziest thing. I got out and everybody was worried. You're coming out, Joe, on November 23rd. Thanksgiving's coming and then Christmas. And there's all these Christmas parties and you're going to be prone to drink. And I didn't really care about all that. All I cared about was the excitement of the time, giving, having people come together. And it was a little awkward the first year not drinking the eggnog. I mean, I drank, I'm going to tell you, eggnog without the alcohol in it's horrible. It's like a nasty milk.
I'm not an eggnog person.
Yeah, that's yeah, you're just a straight up tequila.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Tequila. You know, Candy, she was a tequila girl. She was a tequila shot girl back in her first life.
He likes to make things up.
I do. But this is a show where we're not going to
listen. I don't have a first life, a second life. I only have one life that God has given me, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'm grateful and thankful that He has redeemed me. I haven't arrived. I'm not sinless. I just sin less. And that's what Christmas is about. It's about really thinking about what He has done for us. But we have to be mindful of those less fortunate. Christmas also is a time when people are depressed.
We just did a show last week on Feeding Northeast Florida, and you're a part of getting food to families during the holidays.
Yeah.
And I put it out there and I said, let's all help. And they go, what about the non-holiday times? I said, guys, listen, we got to focus on all the times, but sometimes we need to really hype up people.
Well, this is the time when people are a little depressed. And I mean, gas prices, you know, they're fluctuating. Eggs. Oh my goodness. Eggs, 18 eggs the other day is like almost $10.
Yeah, that's
I mean, the price of eggs are crazy.
Mushrooms are cheap though. We went in we were going to egg a house and we didn't want to use the cost of the eggs.
Mushrooms.
So we went out and bought a bunch of mushrooms.
I don't think there's anything in the grocery store cheap. So people are falling on hard times.
Well, not to mention, kids are not in school to get
fed. That is true.
So now they have to do 3 meals at home where they may have only had to feed their kids once when they were at school.
That is true.
That is true.
Yeah. So I mean, just doing a little bit extra for those. And then there are those that are depressed who aren't able to afford gifts for their families and things like that. So the true meaning of Christmas is about giving, and it's more about love. It's about the sacrifice. It's about just enjoying each other. You know, remember back in the day, they used to give, I wish Commissioner Sullivan was here. He'll tell you about the time when he got an orange and a ball. I love Dave.
Dave is great. She's talking about Flagler County's Commissioner, Dave Sullivan. He is a great guy. And if he's listening, I want to give him a shout out because he is a big fan.
He loves talking about his age and how old he is.
Well, you know, he's Dave Sullivan. He's Ed Sullivan's nephew.
Yes, he is.
And he's got some great stories
he
about
has some
that.
Awesome stories.
But just a great guy. And I love, you know, this time of year, he always goes on cruises and different things, and he had a little medical issue, so he couldn't go. And one of the first things he looked at me and said is, I don't care anything happens to me, I'm going to Tom Brady's last football game.
Oh, you can best believe that.
you know he's a big Brady
Oh, yeah,
fan.
he talked to me about
I mean,
that.
it's good to have goals. I
It
guess.
is. I told him, I said,
He didn't care about the cruise. He didn't
he
care
said,
about anything. He's
Joe,
going
you're
to
not
Tom
giving
Brady.
my ticket away. And I said, no, Dave, I'm not going to.
I'm trying to get that ticket.
I know.
So there's
We're
that.
trying to get out there and get it. But let's do this. I'd love to hear from Candy and you, and I'll say myself, your childhood. Well, let's go back to childhood.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If I can, I'm going to try to remember that far. You guys hadn't been that far because y'all are so young.
It's like
beautiful.
yesterday.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was like yesterday. Candy's like what, 18, and you're 19?
Yeah, I'm 29.
So,
I'm 29 in some months.
29. Okay. Yeah, because you got a daughter.
In some months. And I
don't know
weigh
how you did
129 pounds and some ounces.
that.
How many
I love
months,
my
how many
girls.
ounces, this, that.
I'm Charlie. These are my. But no, Candy, growing up, you look back on things. I remember the song. I remember growing up and working because school was out. And I was working and picking up sticks. In the summer, I cut grass with my brother, who was a doctor, and in the winter, we had to pick up sticks.
Mm-hmm.
It was like sticks and pine cones everywhere, and we'd pick them up. And I remember cutting the radio on in the truck as we were pulling the trailer around, and it had the Red Baron. Christmas with the Red Baron, and I thought, oh man, that's cool. They put down their weapons, they come together, and they were united. So that's one of the childhood memories. Owen, what do you remember from your childhood? What kind of stands out as special for you?
So I had a weird childhood in that I grew up mostly on military bases. My dad was in the military. So Christmas was a time when he may not be around and we may not be allowed to know where he was. So it's pretty common to get like there'd be a package in our mailbox on Christmas that was just black or brown paper bag. And there was nothing on it that had any kind of description or anything. And we knew it was from Dad. We just didn't know where he was. So as we started to get older, anytime Dad was in town for Christmas was always a huge deal. So once we moved back to Tennessee later in life, where we were around our extended family, that was when it really felt more like Christmas to me. I guess it was more in my older years.
Yeah, the firewood, the cold, the snow.
Yeah, all of that.
We don't get that in Florida.
Well, I mean, my dad worked on boats, so I was in Hawaii and Florida and all of that.
Nice.
So yeah, but it's definitely a different atmosphere when there is not, you're on an island, your family isn't coming there to visit you, you're not going anywhere, and you're just, it's beautiful and it's lovely and it's tropical, but it doesn't feel as much like Christmas because your whole family isn't there and there's no such thing as a white Christmas, those kind of things.
Well, I've experienced white Christmas. Not because of the white Santa Claus. Right?
I did too, but it got me.
Black Santa Claus.
It got me in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, that's why you was in rehab, Joe. But my favorite, when I think about Christmas and growing up as a kid in New York, I was able to experience the white Christmas with the snow. And I recall my mother, oh my goodness. I mean, it was 6 of us, and my dad was hit and miss, but my mom held it together. And she just made sure we had everything. And I remember one Christmas, the pipes were frozen, everything was a mess. We were snowed in, had to get out, and Mom had to pay to fix the boiler. It wasn't like we were going to get anything for Christmas. And I recall climbing out of the window and being on the shoulders of my sister's boyfriend, who turned out to be my godfather in a way, and whom I still communicate with to this day. We stayed at his house, but I remember going to like the local store, and you know how they have like the little cheap toys and stuff that's kind of hanging up? Man, there was one that had a little mixer in it. I kid you not. I made the best milkshakes out of milk and sugar out of the little tiny, it couldn't be no more than 3 inches, 3 inches tall. But it was just those types of things. And my mother always decorated. She always did everything. And we just had those traditions of singing and doing some stuff. And I do that with my children now. I put a tree up in every room. I do. Every room in the house is decorated.
Oh my gosh.
I changed the
one of those
linen.
trees
I'm one of those.
I don't even have any decorations.
Oh my goodness. I start the day after Halloween because I don't, celebrate Halloween. So my stuff has been up for a while. And this year I landed the sheets. I mean, I'm talking about even the bathrooms have shower curtains that are Christmas shower curtains and all kinds of stuff.
I like those pine combs that smell real pine.
Let me tell you, you can get the candles now.
Cinnamon.
So we've got the candles, and
I don't have
guess what I dug up
get
the other day?
candles.
Oh yeah, I have caroling books.
Oh, wow.
We sing, my children, and they bring their spouses and my grandkids, and we all get around and we sing Christmas carols every year. But the funniest part that we do is the 12 days of Christmas. Everyone gets a part on the 12 days of Christmas, and everyone forgets their part.
So we did that. My mom actually had a Christmas party last weekend, and so we did that, and I ended up with number 1. I wanted to be number 12, so you really have to sing. No, I ended up number 1. So I sang into my phone, and then I would just press play every time it was my turn.
I hope my children aren't listening to this.
I totally
cheated.
That. Totally cheated.
One year we acted out the parts.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, and which was crazy, and we couldn't stop laughing and all that other kind of stuff. I don't know if you saw the movie Master of Disguise, and we said, "I want to be your Master of Disguise," and he had turtle. Yeah. So when we got the 3 turtle doves, Michaela, whom you know, started acting out 3 turtle doves like Master of Disguise. Let's just say we could barely get through the song, but that's what we do at my house.
You know, Christmas is so beautiful. When I was little, I had 2 Christmases that I remember. One of them was kind of traumatic. My sister Jennifer, I love her to death, but you met her. She's a firecracker. Man, she's a mess. She goes,
she will
you need to go
ride. Yeah.
She goes, you're going to go riding horses with me. And I said, Jennifer, I really like getting on those big horses and going wild. And she got me on one with no saddle and just a bridle.
What?
And I'm going wide open and I'm running behind it. I'm running behind it's like all the horses break out and run across the field. And there's this giant Arabian horse that's my brother's. And all of a sudden the little horse got up too close to it. And it started kicking. And all I know is I saw these massive hoofs coming at my face. And it was like Mike Tyson beat the heck out of me. And I remember going in the house, I looked all swollen and crying. And Mom, I look at Mom and I go, "Oh, I'm hurting. I'm dying. I'm dying. I'm dying."
Beat up by a horse?
I beat up by a horse. So they put me in a bathtub in the basement and they're soaking me. And I remember laying there looking at my mom going, "Mom, I don't want to die before I see what my gifts are. I just want to live 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks, God. Please let me live 2 more weeks. I just want to see what I get for Christmas." It was so traumatic, and I'll never forget that. And then there was a very special one where she locked the door to a playroom that we had, and we couldn't go through. And the crazy thing was my bedroom was on the other side of it. So I had to move out of my bedroom for a month. And we were like, why did she lock the door? And on Christmas Day, all of a sudden we go down and the door's open. And I walk in and there's this giant, massive pool table, pinball machines.
Oh, wow.
It was like an arcade room. And it was such a special one. But I remember looking up going, whose is this? And I laid on the pool table and we had 5 brothers and sisters. So we all claimed our pals. And I remember, she'd have to come in and they straighten out what Santa had left it for. This was one for all of us, not just you, Joey. Get off the pool table. And
you gotta share, man.
Crazy things. But you know what, you guys are.
I have to count gifts. Did your family count gifts? Because with raising 7 children, my husband and I. Okay, so if you've got 13 gifts, everyone has to get 13.
Yes, yeah.
Really, yeah.
And if you give one nice big gift and
everyone
the kids come in, they throw a fit. Where's all my stuff? And you're like, that was $500. And as I got older, I noticed my pile got smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And then it became just 1 or 2 things. And I'm like, but Mom would go, do you know what that cost me to buy that? And I go, yeah, I guess it does. But
I never did a lot of toys.
Both of y'all said something.
The bikes, the things like that.
Both of y'all said something that really tugged on my heart. And Candy talked about her dad, and you talked about your mom. It's about being parents. And let's talk about this for a second. I want to hear from each of you. What is the parenting at Christmas time? Kids, that's fun. That can be fun. I went to Gaylord just the other day. You told me about it, and I went over to the Gaylord.
Yeah, I love it.
And my God, the ice, everything, and the Christmas thing, and Jesse's walking around going, he went out and bought sunglasses and was walking around going, I'm the man, I'm Santa's man. And then he gets in Santa's lap, and it's a trip watching them interact.
Well, I'm an empty nester, so.
Yeah, but you went through it. You were a parent for many years.
I'm still a parent. Don't get me wrong. Just yesterday, my 18-year-old daughter, she's home from college. I'm grateful for that. I said, let's go. We're going shopping. So she dressed up in a cute little white skirt with a Christmas sweater on, with her elf socks I gave her.
It's about what we teach them.
Yeah, it's about what we teach them. I had on my little, my lights on my socks and all that, and we dressed up in Christmas stuff, and I called her my little elf, and we went Christmas shopping. So I still have stuff that we do.
That's what I mean.
But
is setting the
parenting
trends
and bringing them up and And I'm hoping and praying that they continue to do. But Christmas Eve is when all my children and my grandchildren come to my house. I'm grateful for that.
Oh my God.
Thanksgiving Day they come. Christmas Eve early they come. And we sing. One of the other traditions we do is the pajamas. We always got a new set of pajamas for Christmas. So I started that tradition with my children.
Isn't it neat seeing the traditions go on?
So a couple of years ago, oh my goodness, I bought pajamas for everybody. I just did pajama bottom, couldn't do the top, Candy. Just did the bottom.
Can't blame you.
Look,
can't blame you.
Everybody wear their own top. I mean, there was some stuff that they had Nirvana shirts on with Christmas pajamas.
That's so hilarious.
Whatever, it didn't matter.
That's them being them.
They could
personalize
it, but we all showed up and had the same pajama bottoms on, and that's what everyone got for Christmas. And if I didn't give them to them in advance when they came that day, they put them on. So I still have those pictures.
Traditions. So you have traditions. Candy, as an adult, what's special with Christmas for you now?
For me, okay. It's a joke in our family, but I don't know if you had siblings that used to steal your good gifts to give to their little girlfriends.
No,
Oh yeah, my brother totally used to do that.
It could happen, and I didn't know.
My brother would just come in like Russia and take it.
Or his other favorite thing to do. This is one of my favorite sibling memories. So he was in this stage of giving his little girlfriends good gifts, and then he would draw pictures of what he would give us for Christmas if he had all the money in the world.
Aww.
So that would be ours, but that would be in lieu of actually getting a present because he would spend it all on his little girlfriends. So one year my parents drew pictures of all of his presents and put those under the tree. And so yeah, he never did that again. They kept his presents up in the attic until the first, and then on New Year's, he got his actual gifts. But he really went a week or two thinking all he got were pictures of these really great things he would have gotten for Christmas.
That's kind of cool.
That's great.
We do the Secret Santa now because it's extremely difficult because with 7 children, and then you think about their spouses or boyfriends, and then they start to have children.
Secret Santa, and it didn't work because every time they'd open it up, it'd be a gift certificate to Fogo de Chao. They'd go, Joe, or it was a sports ticket.
That's funny. Joe. My husband and I don't participate in that. I want all my gifts from all of my kids and from all my, but I buy them all the gifts. But for them, so one sibling doesn't have to buy it for everyone. They kind of do the Secret Santa thing and set a limit. So there's always a couple of slackers.
Nephews, it's crazy.
Yeah, there's a couple of slackers in my family. I'm not going to name any names, but my oldest daughter, my oldest child, she makes sure she tries to sneak to find out who has someone else for the Secret Santa. This one particular person in my family, there's like 2 of them, not naming any names. They never buy gifts. So she goes out and actually purchases Secret Santa gifts to make sure no one is left out. She does it every year. So she's been calling me. Do you know who so-and-so has? Do you know who so-and-so has? Because I've got to go buy a gift because I know they may not come with a gift. And then,
So tell your family there's actually an app called Draw Names that'll do that for you. You put in your info. It'll be
everything's going to an app now.
And we're gonna,
Amazon's now Santa. It's bringing your gifts to your house.
Well, you can even link on there. Like if you say, like we have a $25 limit. So you can put in there $25 and it'll let you list anything that you want. It'll show you all kinds of options that are $25, and you just like the stuff that you like, and it automatically sends your list.
I'm kind of liking put the names in a hat, and people lose the names, and then we have to figure out.
Let's get to technology. Part of the beauty
before you know it, they'll pick it, ship it, and then you don't have to do anything.
And here's one of the beauties that I love about the holidays is, like you just said, bringing everybody together. I mean, with the way the world's going now, are we going to go to Zoom Christmases? Are we going to start zooming in and going, oh, we're going to all Zoom together and see Christmas? I mean,
totally did that during COVID.
Think about this. It's coming.
That was the only time we did it.
I didn't.
But I love seeing.
We had to.
I didn't.
I love seeing some of our crazy relatives come in.
If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. If I'm going out, I'm gonna go out. Don't think I was flipping about COVID. Don't think that by any stretch of imagination.
Spoke about New York. They were talking about people. You couldn't have more than 5 or 6 people together.
Whatever. Yeah.
That was crazy.
Listen, if I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna try to help myself go. But my family and I, we did what we had.
It's about coming together and having that uncle come in, like Uncle Joe. Come in and act crazy.
Always have somebody crazy. I'm trying to figure out who the crazy uncle. You're the crazy uncle.
Oh, you know
if you don't know who the crazy one is, it might be you.
Oh my goodness!
You've been there with me. You've been there with me. And see how they do.
I mean, every family, especially mine, that has grown and it keeps growing and keeps growing. It's like when certain things, items we purchase, and we know we give to certain people, we got to take the receipt, make sure they don't have the receipt, take the tag off. They might return it.
My sisters, They give me chocolate covered cherries as a joke. You know why? One year I bit into it. I have never had a cavity in my life. I bit into a chocolate covered cherry, and there was a cherry pit in it, and it cracked my tooth. And my sisters give me chocolate covered cherries as a joke. I hate them. I cannot stand them because that was the most pain I ever had in my life. And it started major dental work. And matter of fact, I still am having issues from it. But a daggum chocolate covered cherry with a pit in it.
I know what I'm getting for Christmas. That's a good
It's funny that you said that because it's the exact opposite at my house. Chocolate covered cherries are something that my mom gets every year. We actually race to see the first one that can give it to her because she grew up very poor and that was the only gift that their mom would give them. That my grandma would give them was chocolate covered cherries. And she's long passed on. But that
cherries or some
and I can weigh in. I just don't like chocolate.
Some people's cherries are some people's treasures, and there's some people's
there you go.
So
they're the pits for some people.
What is the main food that you guys like? I love those little chocolate covered peanut butter balls. Oh my God, my sister makes those, and I'm like eating a ton of them. What is the food that you like, Pastor Jay?
Well, if there's food, I mean, I see food. I see it. I'm eating it. For Christmas or just because we have such a huge Thanksgiving, by the way, and I have to cook everything from scratch. By the way, I'm not allowed to take shortcuts. My daughter told me she would tell me. So for Christmas, we do breakfast.
Oh, wow.
Christmas Eve, we do like a brunch. And because I love breakfast, because my family, my children, they go back to their family. They have their own children. They do Christmas on Christmas Day in their homes, and they do that lavish meal. But I eat prime rib always.
Oh my God.
But we always, because we do the turkey and stuff and everything for Thanksgiving.
I'm not a big meat eater.
What? Oh my goodness. Have you ever sat and have eaten with Joe Mullins?
No, I feel like I need to keep it there.
You will get sick to your stomach.
I think I made the right choice.
I have never seen anyone eat so much before in my life. And you know how you eat bread and it kind of swells up in your stomach? Diet Coke, no ice. I know too much about him. Diet Coke, no ice. And he'll sit there and eat bread, cheese, bread, anything, and then the meat will come and we'll continue to eat.
I go to cow pastures for family reunions. I go out there and the cows feel like family because I eat so much of it.
Then he disappears and comes back. Not knows where he goes. Then he fills up again.
It's good. I like I've sat in restaurants sometimes for an hour and then said, okay, I'm going to eat my second meal. They're like, hey, you only paid one time.
I can't.
The amount of times you talk about Fogo de Chao, I feel like you need some stock at that restaurant at this point.
We may have stock in Fogo de Chao.
I love it. Now,
they have this picture on a few places. You go in, you can go anywhere and say, I want Joe Mullins' table. Now, he may not have a table, but you mention his name, they will make sure you're seated where you're going to get the fresh stuff all the time.
It is good. It is a great place. I love them. And the holidays, I love them because they do all these meats and they do turkey. So I'm giving a plug out to Fogo de Chao, one of the best places to eat and get the holiday meats.
Family there.
I'm also going to give a shout out. I'm going to give a shout out to, let's see, who else can we give some shout outs to? Our radio station. They play some great Christmas music. I love
How about Today with Pastor Jay on WNZF News Radio?
Today with Pastor Jay.
How about that? 96.9 FM.
And for our listeners in Duval and our listeners in Orange County, Seminole, Volusia, St. John's, how can they listen to your show? Because
even if they don't hear it, you can go to todaywithpastorj.com and click podcast.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah. Her show is great. If you haven't listened to it, you've got to listen to it because she gets on there and she really breaks down some great things. Candy, what's your favorite food? It's got to be, I bet it's candy. I bet that's why they named her Candy, because she likes candy. It's candy canes.
I tell you, from about Halloween till about Christmas, my name just sucks down. I hear it everywhere. Grocery stores. I always think people are talking either to me or about
Oh my God, I didn't think about that. I want some candy. Oh God, he wants me again.
My oldest daughter, she couldn't say candy. She would say dollar. I don't know why. So she would go around and go dollar, and they thought she wanted a dollar, and she would collect all these dollars. It was candy that she was called.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
That's amazing.
Candy, I didn't think about that. That's funny because you're walking
around.
You're the most popular woman from Halloween to New Year's.
Yeah.
Because everybody is wanting candy. I didn't think about that.
There was one year where I thought I would put some red highlights in my hair, and I'm blonde.
Who sing that song, Candy Girl?
That is
New Edition.
See, I knew she would know it because that must have been your song.
Oh, I've literally had boys back in the day who did a whole mixtape of songs with my name.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. Again, as we wrap up here, Christmas time is so special. We're talking, if you listen to what we're talking about, it's mainly family. It's putting the gift of giving, having God in there, and it's just a beautiful time. And I am so thankful to have friends like you, Pastor Jay, and like you, Candy. Y'all, I get to work with you, and don't call Candy an employee. Just don't do that. Don't do that. When your mind's off and you're just saying something, don't do that. That's an inside joke.
Why are you looking at me? I would never do
It's an inside joke. Sometimes Joe Mullins, I know you guys may not believe this. This may come shocking to you, but sometimes I say things before I think about them, and they come out of my mouth.
We're teaching Joe the difference between a colleague and an employee.
Well, if y'all want any of the good dirt on Joe Mullins, y'all can call me. At 828 Geraldine.
Yeah.
That's a real number though. 828 Geraldine.
Is it real?
Yeah.
Wow.
828 JEARLYN 532-7596. It rings to my cell phone. I'll tell you all the good stuff on Joe.
Oh, and I have to.
She knows it too.
I know
She knows it.
That's why when people come and tell me stuff, I go, yeah, no, that's not.
You know how people get drunk and sit and talk to a bartender at 1 a.m.?
You don't get drunk.
I don't get drunk, but I eat a lot of food and I talk to you at 1 a.m.
Yes.
There you go.
Or 2 a.m.
Yeah, 2 a.m.
I call him too. It's reciprocal.
You better never not be here, or else I'm going to call her, and the whole show is going to be about Joe Mullins.
Oh
We should do that. Let's do
the real behind the scenes, the guy that owns the county or runs the county. However,
that would be awesome. I would love to tell you some of the funny stories about Joe.
Oh, let's do a Joe roast.
Let's do a Joe roast. Joe, we're gonna do a Joe roast.
It would be a roast on each other. We need to do that. We need to do that.
Oh, he gonna roast on me? No, we're not doing
that. Oh, no. You can't roast me and not roast you.
Oh no.
We'll roast you first.
You're gonna be like roast beef when
I
get
done. Boring.
Oh yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
I'm pretty boring.
Yeah. But guys, I know we got to all get to our families and we got to get back to what we're doing. I'm going to leave my family here and I'm going to head home and see my boys and my girl. I can't wait to see them. I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and tell you, just give a hug and love to it, because these memories, like we just talked about in here, we're setting traditions, we're setting memories. I look back at my childhood and I smile and think about my mother and father. And then I look at being a mother and a father, being parents. And I've got an incredible, my kid's mother does a great job. She's so festive and holiday. Kim is just, she'll decorate a daggum decoration. I've never seen that. But I want everybody to remember this is the greatest time of the year. And I want to thank you guys for being part of my
absolutely. Family. And I want to remind everyone that Jesus is the reason
for the season.
Amen.
Yeah, I love it. All right, everybody, have a great day. And remember, live, work, shop, play Florida, the greatest state in the greatest country in the greatest world that we could ever have.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. That was fun. See, some of these shows are fun to do like that. And that's what people say. They like the fact that we